Welcome back to another episode on the Oak and Rock Fatherhood YouTube channel. We are live today. Myself, as always, joined by Anthony Migliorino, host of this channel, talking fatherhood, family, all things that is Oak and Rock. And today we are joined by a name you've heard probably 1,000 times on this channel, but first-time live guest. That is Phil Foster. Phil, welcome to the show. It's good to get you on here.
What's up, Zac? What's up, Anthony? Thank you guys so much for letting me come on the Oak and Rock Fatherhood channel today. I'm looking forward to this dissertation. It's great to see you both. It's been a long time since the three of us have been together digitally, let alone in person. I mean, obviously I live over here in Dallas, Fort Worth. You guys are all East Coast boys.
Carolina,
Southerners, yeah, I know. I get it, man. It's all good. No, it's great to be here, man. Thank you guys so much.
We've come a long way. Oftentimes, I'm sitting over here and I'm like, hey, let me plug the guy who's helping me get jacked, Phil Foster. So they've heard it 1,000 times, but you're no longer the carpenter. Come to find out, you actually have a knack for speaking and educating. And so you're sitting there, you've got the backdrop, you've got the headphones, you've got the microphone. Really quick, how did Phil Foster go from construction worker to Phil Foster Fitness, the man we see before us?
That's a great question, Zac. Actually, it's from being around guys like you, man. Doing the things that I've been doing for so long, being the carpenter, it's the year 31 now. I've been doing that, building and things like that. It's just, it just was unfulfilling. It's a way to make money, but it's not like, okay, I'm like getting this like great satisfaction out of it. It's kind of like, I hit the end of winning at that game, so to speak. And, fitness for me is something that's really near and dear to my heart. I really love I love bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman stuff. I love seeing people get in, better shape and taking care of themselves and like really changing who they are as human beings, and going through these processes and discovering who they really are under all that fat, and disgustingness. And so basically it's good for me, to do this now, because as I transition away from carpentry and go full time with this, it's been a great journey, man. But I got here by being around guys like you. How many times have I hit my head and I've texted Zac and I'm like, hey bro, what the hell am I supposed to do with this one right here? What's going on with this? How do I pull this one out of my ass? So, my apologies. How do I pull this one out of my hat? My apologies.
You can say it all, Phil. Don't worry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, man.
I know it's not the growth cast, but I've been listening to a few of your recent episodes between you, your wife, Lana, getting after
dropping
it.
bombs.
And I'm realizing, we're just going to let it riff, man. That's the only way this works, is if we're going to be us. So we talk about authenticity. To see you here, one of the main reasons you're here on this specific discussion is because you live this lifestyle. But specifically, you live this as a family. And on Oak and Rock, obviously, this is where a lot of dads are coming in. That's our primary focus on here. Family Alpha is more lifestyle. Peaceful Fathers, very focused on the rearing of children. But Oak and Rock, that's the family unit driven by strong and connected fathers. You are a strong and connected father, not just because you're a master of freaking everything through all the schooling you've been to for years and your family, but also as the man yourself with your family, leading by example. And that's the discussion I want to have tonight. Not only, how you're able to do it and balance it, with yourself and your family, but how other men can do the same.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Let's dig into the meat and potatoes of it. Let's go.
All right, Anthony, you had a list of 75 questions? Throw your first one out there. If you're watching this, make sure you like, subscribe. And if you have questions for Phil, throw them in the chat. I'll pop them up on the screen. He can address them. And I will throw it out there right now. Phil has been running a once a month AMA. We get the VIP inside FOE, and the man has yet to be stumped. If you stump this man live, give me your crypto address or whatever you want. Let me know in the back end. I'll take care of you. Nobody has stumped Phil. Challenge has been set.
Let's go.
Throw the questions in the comments. Let's go. No, I didn't have any questions, actually. I know a lot about Phil, so. Honestly, Phil, I know that you guys work out as a family. I see it all the time, right? I've lived it. We worked out with you in Vegas, which was awesome. And what is the best way that we can get dads to have their kids work out with them?
That's a really good question. So here's the thing, most of the guys that I come in contact with and have dealt with, whether it be through the fraternity or through social media, or, that they've decided to go ahead and start training with me. One of the biggest things I see, with these guys is they're in trouble already. These guys they're looking to other content creators like y'all right here on this, on the Oak and Rock, or my channel or other channels out there. They're searching for something. They're trying to figure out a way to straighten their life out and figure it out. And like 9 times out of 10, the first piece of the puzzle in finding who you are as a man is fitness. Okay. Most guys have really let themselves go, and it's really a sad thing. And so when it comes to families and that, it's interesting. Most of the guys, like I've got several clients that I'm training right now, and it's like, I get the DMs from them and they're like, hey man, I'm doing the app I'm training on the app and it's great, but my son wants to start getting involved in it now. And now my son's getting up in the morning before school and working out with me, or my son's doing this with me after school, or my daughter's doing this with me. And it's like, what it is, kids, obviously, you guys, Anthony, this is your wheelhouse when it comes to kids. Obviously kids are like sponges, man. When they see mom and dad doing something, they want to do it too. They think it's cool, and that's the thing, right? As guys, start to really straighten themselves out and get into fitness, 9 times out of 10, if they're decent human beings and they're good fathers, I would say that the kids and the family are going to follow suit.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a really good marketing plan, because if you're getting the dads jacked and the dads are getting their kids influenced to get jacked, you're going to run out of future customers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a good thing I sell supplements.
The thing though, when you look at it like this, that's why I'm jumping in here. I realize when I gotta pull the reins, like the choke chain before you go off the rails. One of the things, I'm probably one of the ones who's had that exact discussion, man. I'm like, yo, I'm getting after it. I sent you a photo today of, it was me 4th of July from 2020. And I was swollen, fat, inflamed, hormones were jacked up, motivation was low, all these things, dude. And you're the one that we had the discussion. It was a very direct discussion. And it's like, yo, if you're going to fix this, you got to fix this now. Like, it's time to fucking do the work. And then I sent a picture from recently, and it's like night and day. And you can just see in the eyes, the fire's lit. And I see a lot of these men, some of them, they just have accepted that this is their fate. It's too late for them. They're too far gone. And I'm living proof that that's not the case. But more than that, I've seen you work with men who are 60 plus. I've seen you work with men in their 20s. I've seen you work with the obese looking to get to a healthy weight. I've seen myself, I'm probably now in a healthy weight looking to go that extra mile, the body that people are like, damn. And so you're not just working with one set of men, and in that, I was wondering, have you found that family men are in any sort of a different category when it comes to maybe time management or the meal balancing? Or have you found a way to kind of just lump them in with everybody else? And it's like, hey, you eat your thing, you do your training, and then the family finds a way to work around you. How do you balance that?
So that's a good one right there. So most of the family guys, a lot of the fathers, I've got one that just recently signed up, and he's got like 5 kids or something like that. And, his schedule is completely packed. And he's like, I'm lucky to get 3 days a week. And I'm like, bro, and I do a lot of aversion marketing, guys. I tell them right now, I'm like, look, I'm going to demand that if you're going to pay me, we're going to do this deal to the end. We aren't going to, there's no half measure. So I told him, I was like, well, we'll settle on 5 days a week. Really, I'd like you to train 6. And so we went back and forth, and then he decided to commit with me. And the big thing is getting him, in the gym consistently. A lot of guys that are busy, they just don't know how to carve that time out yet. They've carved time out for work. They've carved time out for this, for that, for everything else, but they forget to carve time out for themselves. And here's the thing, if you want your family to respect you as a man, as a male, as a family leader, as a tribe leader, you can't be looking like Peter Griffin. There it is. You have to have, especially when it comes to your woman. Okay. Your woman wants you to be strong and capable first and foremost. Okay. And the children, in a normal, and Anthony's probably going to correct me on this one here, but in my situation here, okay, my daughter's 17 and a half years old. My woman, defers to what I do, and she kind of follows suit. And then basically my daughter pretty much follows the lead of both of us, that she sees how that works out. So fathers that aren't taking care of themselves are really doing their families a huge disservice, because they are not strong and capable. They do not look the part of a family leader. They look weak. They look fat. They look sick.
Well, wouldn't you say deep down they are weak?
Absolutely they are.
But if they're missing that first step to take care of their physical body,
yeah,
their mind's not going to be sharp. They're going to have obviously poor self-image. There's, they're not going to be able to lead. They're not going to be able to connect with their kids or help foster a healthy environment in the home.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, right? I mean, that's a solid point, So how do these guys? And Zac asked me, so how do I get these guys, like this guy here with the 5 kids? So what I told him is, I was like, dude, here's the deal. If you want what you want, this is what it's going to take. I don't care about your schedule. Make time, hour and a half, 5 days a week, period. And when it comes to the food, it's a lot of that comes down to, okay, not, having some self-discipline. A lot of fathers, unfortunately, are in the position they're in. They get the Rona 20 and then they've got the additional 10 pounds a year, is because, they have like 2 kids at the table and they're, they might have dinner and it's like, oh, well, you didn't finish that. Let me eat that for you. And this one over here, oh, you didn't finish your French bread. Let me eat that one too. So they're picking up all these extra calories. So getting these dads to wake up to, okay, first off, if it's not on your plate, don't eat it. Number one. Number two, it's okay if you're eating something a little bit different than the rest of your family for a little while you get yourself squared away. And because that's part of the deal is, when you train with me, it's not that I'm telling you what to eat. It's basically I prescribe your macro, your profile for you. And I kind of get you to follow that and stay in those parameters. Okay. And that might mean that, okay, when the rest of the family's having, deep dish pizza, you're probably going to be having, like a steak and salad or something like that. So you're just going to have to do things differently for a little while until you get yourself under control, because these men, most men, they lack that self-discipline. They lack that self-love. They have no self-respect. And it shows first and foremost in the kitchen, 9 times out of 10. When you get these guys dialed in the kitchen, the gym just pops right in there, man. It's no big deal.
Talking about it not being a big deal, I think that plays very well into what follows once you instill that habit. It's to get kids on board. Again, we're talking to these family men. Some of them, their kids are going to be resistant because the kids have been sitting for so long, or they've been sedentary. So it almost hurts to go out and have to do something. They feel like it's a chore. And they're like, hey, you want to come work out with me? They're like, no, that's literally the last thing I want to do. Yeah. It's repetitive. It's not really fun, these things. But I think as a man, once you're down there and you're enjoying the weights and you're showing the kids and having a good time, like my kids come down, I'll yell, man. I got the trap bar. I'm like, rah! I'm picking it up, slamming it on the ground. They're like, yeah, Dad. It's becoming a family thing and it's fun. But at the same time, both of my kids are in sports. My son, he made the middle school team. He's one of 3 6th graders. He's the only one starting. Why? Awesome. He's a smaller 6th grader. How is he able to compete with those bigger boys? Because, dude, forever we've been doing this thing. I'm always sending you photos like, hey, Phil, he's your future sponsor, Phil Foster Fitness athlete, because you'll be running around with me doing the things that you've got me doing in the program. Yeah. And so when you do this, your kids see it. You're also giving them the opportunity to excel in their world. I've never done cheerleading in my life. I've never done gymnastics, but I do lift. I do band work. I'm always working to, protect my shoulder. That's one of my weak points. And my daughter, she's up there with me. So she goes in the bars. When I lift, she lifts. And guess what? She's out there crushing with her squad. Yeah. So a lot of these parents, they want the best life for their children, but they don't realize that you set your kids up for success by making your best life for yourself, by setting you up to succeed. And so in that, have you found that as you're going through, your daughter, I know she's been training with you guys for a while now, but has it always been a steady, hey, I want to go? Or if there was resistance, how did you go about winning her back over to learn, here's why we do things the way we do them?
Yeah. So obviously our situation was a little bit different. I was a divorced dad, and I ended up full custody with my daughter, and so, as my wife and I both trained, it's interesting, especially with young teenage girls and boys. Veda was, when she first started training, she was probably, 13, maybe 12 and a half, 13 years old. The big thing is these kids that you're absolutely correct. They're very sedentary. Okay. And there's food associated with everything. They go do something with the school. It's like, boom, there's food there. If they go do, okay, we're going to a friend's house. Okay. We're going to have dinner. There's always food. And so these kids are actually becoming obese because there's constantly food in front of them. And so that was the first trick with her, was getting her to realize, hey, you don't always have to eat. Okay. And then once we got her through that hoop, so to speak, and she saw how my wife and I were constantly going to the gym and training, and I'm like, hey, let's go to the gym, and there was a lot of aversion at first. She didn't want to go, and so, I'm probably going to get fussed at by Anthony, but I just kind of put my foot down one day. And I told her, I said, look, next Saturday and Sunday, you're going with me and Mom. And that's just it. This is what we're going to do. And so we went to the gym, and, she had her own trainer. Okay. And so it wasn't cool to go train with mom and dad at this point in time. She had her own personal trainer. And I said, look, this is family time. This is something we can all go do together, and I'll train you and your mom, and it's going to be great. And of course, the first probably 4 or 5 weekends, it was a chore, and it wasn't fun, she's with mom and dad. And but eventually it started getting a little bit easier, because the circuits that I put my wife through to get her to the physique level that she wants to have for whatever is pretty serious. And so obviously my daughter sees her aesthetic and says, well, I want that. And I'm like, okay, baby, well, this is what you have to do to get that. Let me show you. And then the wheel started turning in her head, but it took about 4 to 5 weekends of her going through that process to realize, okay, this is not easy. And then it was like, hey, are we going to the gym on Saturday and Sunday this weekend? I quit mentioning it. Okay. And she started asking, midweek, are we going to the gym on Saturday and Sunday? And I'm like, absolutely, we're going to go. And then, so, I kind of threw that hook out there and, showed her what it was about, and then backed off. And then she kind of just circled back on her own and said, I want to go. And so from now on, it's like, boom. And so now, obviously she's 17 and a half. She's driving. I barely get to see her, she's a busy girl with school and everything like that, but she still goes to the gym, 5 days a week. It's an incredible thing to see. And, I don't get the opportunities to train with her as much as I'd like to anymore, because once again, she's a teenager. She's busy.
She doesn't need you anymore, bro.
I don't know, man. It's
You've
like,
done your job.
Anthony's like with the sword through my soul right there.
Hey, I'm living it also,
down,
man.
twist.
I'm living it also. My son's up out of the house at like 5 a.m., 4:30, going to the gym.
Yeah.
And he doesn't ask me, He's doing his thing. He doesn't want me slowing him down.
Yeah. I'm not there yet, gents. I'm going to hang on to this while I can.
Enjoy that.
Don't ever let go.
I do want to say something, though, before we move on.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Lana Foster. That woman has been getting after it. Incredible physique. She has been crushing it in there. She's becoming somewhat of a content creator herself, which I'm loving to see that development happen.
Yeah.
She's out there doing her thing, but she's also certified. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. She's a master trainer.
And so this isn't just like obviously we're Oak and Rock, we're talking masculine, but this isn't just a male service that you're offering. Your family, you and your spouse, your wife, you guys are offering this to men and women who need it. And 100%. So I want to make that clarification now for any ladies. Well, this is for the men. No. There's a resource for you as well. We need to get her ass on here sometime.
Yeah, do that. She's settling really good. She's having a lot of fun with Twitter, and obviously I've had her on the channel a few times. We've been talking relationship stuff, and it's interesting, how she's kind of developed into this role of doing this deal. But as a trainer, she's helped several women. Obviously she does the hormones thing with me. She deals with the ladies because obviously some of the questions are really personal. When getting ladies dialed in and figured out, what's going on with their bodies, sometimes, I've coached women before, but it's better. I started involving her, and she's like, I got it. And so it works great. But 100%, she is a trainer, and she is certified and licensed. We're through ISSA, so basically we're internationally recognized, which is really good. And the big thing with Lana is, so I've had other clients, other guys that reach out to me, hey, I want you to train me. And I'm like, hey, how's your wife? What's going on with your wife? And they're like, yeah, well, work with my girl. I want her to work with my girl. Unfortunately, women are definitely, as we all know, different than men. Okay. And we all know that. And so it's a different thing, because here's the thing. A lot of ladies, when Lana prescribes something to them, they struggle with it at first. Okay. They really struggle. And 9 times out of 10, it's too hard and they quit. Okay. And I think that falls back on the guys, because 9 times out of 10, if the lady quits, then he quits. And it's an interesting thing to see. It's a statistical thing, I think, is, I think the ones that she has coached, they have failed, okay, to complete anything, and they don't reach their goal. 9 times out of 10, the man that I'm coaching lays it down too. And I think that says a lot about their home and who they are as human beings, because if he is weak, obviously, if he's not holding her feet to the fire and saying, hey, babe, this is what I need from you, this is what I want you to do, she's not going to do it. So it's kind of like a novelty thing. But when it comes to the ladies, definitely, if you're a guy and you hit me up and you have a wife that's interested, let me know. Lana can work with her one-on-one, Zoom calls, whatever.
So I've got 3 myths I want to throw your way. Just rapid fire, debunk yes or no's. 1, women should not, or they should women lift weights? Will they get too bulky?
Never will they get bulky. They will get hot as you know what, 100%. Big muscles, sexy muscles, and you will be loving her in bed.
Perfect. 2, should kids lift weights?
100%. 100%. Put them, if you have a son, if you have a daughter, I don't care how old they are, put them on the iron. Now, obviously, you're not going to blow them out, if their growth plates are happening and things like that. You're not going to have them over there squatting 225 for 20.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, you just
Oh,
kind
man.
of.
Hey, code no more.
But definitely get your kids familiarized with the weight pile as early and as often as possible. Because here's the thing, if you set that precedent now, as they mature, that's something. It's like second nature. It's kind of like riding a bike. Okay, there's a barbell, Dad. I know what that's about. I can bench with that. I can squat with that. I can pull with that. I can do pull-ups. I can do dips. I can do this. I can do that. And it's like riding a bike. So yeah, get your kids on the weights.
3rd one, there are men who are rocking the dad bod and they're thinking I should do cardio to lose weight because lifting weights, I can't build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Is that true or false?
Okay, say that one more time because you threw something on the end of that. Okay, just make sure I got it right.
True or false? You can build muscle while losing fat.
True, you can definitely recomp your body to a certain point. Okay. A lot of the guys I train, Zac, both of you guys are familiar with, and I want you guys doing cardio. Okay. And I want guys, here's the thing.
I've logged more miles on a bike since working with you in a stair mill than ever in my entire life added up. That's a hard fact in the past 2 years. Easy.
Yeah. The big thing is recomping your body. I don't necessarily, I use the cardio to burn the extra energy off your body. But the big thing for me, and the reason why I like men, especially with dad bods, to do cardio work is because their heart. Okay. If your pumper is weak and you're starting to build muscle, guess what? You're going to have more muscle tissue. More muscle tissue means more pressure on the heart to move blood throughout the body. When you have more surface area, whether it's fat or muscle, okay, the heart has to work harder. As you lose fat and build muscle, the heart actually has to work harder to move that blood through the body because guess what? Muscle is like denser than fat. So there's more resistance against that flow. Another thing with the cardio, and you have a dad bod, is capillary and vascularity definition. Okay, basically you're going to start developing these pathways for that blood to travel to the new muscle that you're developing with the weight. So it's important that guys understand that the cardio is to protect your heart. Yeah, it's going to burn some extra energy off of you, but the big thing is putting the padlock on the pantry and the refrigerator and getting your self-discipline under control and understanding that cardio in conjunction with weight training and a healthy diet will definitely get rid of that gut that you have hanging over your belt. Did I clear that one good?
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
I was waiting for Anthony to jump in.
No, I thought you had some more myths.
Oh, dude, I got so much. Because, dude, the conversation happens so often. Like through my journey, I've learned quite a bit. But one of the main things that I see is the resistance to the change. Like, I don't have to change my whole life. I'm going to have to do all this. It's going to be so painful. But when you understand, like, what's the alternative? That you die early, that you're not able to live a maximized life. I mean, we look at dead libidos, like dead bedrooms. Well, because you and your spouse, you're both overweight. You're not attractive. Your body's not working optimally. So you're literally not, the plumbing isn't working properly in the literal sense. So that's an issue. You see, oh, my kids don't want to do this. As if, the kids, it's hard to word this. The kids don't want to do it because you've never shown them how it's a positive thing that can be done. It's not that they don't want to do it, but they literally don't want to do it. So what I'm saying here is they would want to do it if you made it a part of the family culture. If you just made it a part of your identity. Being strong is something we take pride in. Being physically strong and capable is something that in the small family is a very important element to who we are. It's like our part of our creed. Like, we are healthy people. We drove by McDonald's earlier and my son was like, look at the dirty M. And I was like, what? He's like,
the dirty M.
My daughter calls it Fat Donald's. We don't eat fast food. And I know, get AJ Cortez on here. He's like, as long as it's fitting the macros, you can do it. We just don't go there. That's not really our thing. And they think, oh, well, you've got to change your whole lifestyle. And I guess to a degree you do, but maybe that's a highlight of that's a good thing. Change is good. I'm not going to share the photo now. I'm saving it for 4th of July so I can do my 2-year change. Mm-hmm. But when I look at that photo from 4th of July, 2020, I'm glad I changed. I'm glad my lifestyle changed. I'm glad my priorities changed. And, you know, looking at where you've come from, Phil, dude, I literally have creatine that I put in my body daily here. I've got pre-workout. This is the regular protein. I've got vegan protein in my closet, and I've got sleep and feed.
Yeah.
You went from an anon online doing your thing of just trolling motherfuckers and dropping some red pill knowledge on them to actually coming out and saying, you know what, I'm really gonna lean in on this. I'm gonna make this a thing. And your idea is now on my shelf.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, things change, but change is good. Evolution is good. You used to go by Evolve Phil about the evolution of the man. And you and I, we did a whole podcast on that. And so I think the evolution of bringing fitness and strength into the family is one of the best moves a man can make.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, here's the thing. You know, if you want to live a long life and see your grandkids, get your butt in the gym. That's the first and foremost thing. For real. Yeah, you got anger issues. I mean, Anthony can help you with that. Obviously, you send him a DM so you don't beat your kids. But the thing is, you know, the gym is a good place for your brain, man. It's not only for your physicality, it's for your mentality. You know what they always say, right? Your physicality begets your mentality, begets your life. You know, and so the big thing is
the body, the mind will follow.
That's right, brother. 100%. You got it. You just locked it down right there. Anthony just like threw 50 gold bullion at YouTube right now.
50 gold Bitcoin.
What's that? I don't even know what Bitcoin is.
Oh man.
Anyways, I think the greed index right now is at 27, dude. Stay away. I don't know what Bitcoin is.
I think that's a great point, right? We often, you talk about fitness all the time, and it's always about, you know, having a more muscular body, a stronger body, looking good, and having a better overall health. I think if you look at it from being a father, from a parenting perspective, there's so many other things that it benefits you and your kids, right? It just working out with your family, it encourages teamwork and cooperation.
Yeah.
Right? You get to spend time together. You get to not only be the leader in your home, but you get to be the leader in the gym and show them how to do things properly. You work together. It teaches them how to set goals. If there's something in the future they want to achieve or a certain way they want to look, their body, they can set those goals and they work towards it. You know, it builds self-confidence. Who's not going to be more confident if they're feeling good about their body?
That's right.
And it ultimately, I think it makes your kid understand what's best for them, right? And it's not just lifting the weights; it's the food we eat. Like Zac was saying, we don't go to McDonald's, no fast food.
Yeah,
you eat clean, you eat organic, you eat healthy, you eat one ingredient foods, and your kids will follow that example. And you set them up for all these benefits later on in life.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, right? Like how we were saying earlier with the, it's like riding a bike. You know, you set these precedents early with these kids, and they're going to be a better version of who you are right now, especially if you got a dad bod, right? And that's what it's all about, your legacy, right? That's what this whole channel is about, is like helping you develop that legacy with your children, right? So they end up better than who you are, right? And I think that when you start tying fitness together as a man, let me circle back on what you said, teaching them what to do in the gym. If you've never been in the gym before and you start going to the gym, get a trainer for a little bit and learn some of this stuff before you go taking your family in there. Okay. Just do yourself that favor, because you're going to get frustrated. Okay. It's a good idea.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
Yes. Yes. Just go get a trainer for like, a couple of months, learn the moves and then get some confidence under your belt, and then start taking the wife and the kids. 100%. I agree with Anthony on that. He made a solid point of, when your kids see you doing these things, and you're leading them through these things, even though it's something a little bit different than, playing the video games or, scrolling the TV or Disney or Plus or whatever it might be that the kids are doing. Because unfortunately, kids are extremely sedentary. I grew up in the 80s, man. It was like I got off of school, and I was outdoor until dark, and my mom would come on the front porch and yell my name, and I'd come home. Well, all you got to do is drive through the neighborhood. Kids aren't out anymore. It's just a thing. These kids are they're seriously connected to the world through the devil right here.
Well, they're disconnected from their dads.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And so, and teeing off of what you just said, Anthony, right there. I mean, utilizing fitness. I don't care what it is. You don't even have to take them to the gym. You can take them to the park.
Go for a walk.
Yeah. Go
Dude,
for
go
a
on the
walk.
playground, man. Monkey bars. You can get a good workout in the playground.
Boom,
Bar,
right there.
Bar stars.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily even have to be the gym. It could be anything. Go to a state park. Go to a walking trail. I mean, where I live in Dallas Fort Worth, there's awesome. The Katy Trail is awesome. There's trails everywhere to go walk. Just getting your family out and moving is the first step in kind of improving your situation with your family 100%. Especially when it comes to health. Obviously, because the last couple of years has been kind of crazy. Things are starting to calm down now. But everybody's like going in the bathroom and looking in the mirror and they're going, "Geez, man, look at me." So how do you fix that? How do you fix looking like chewed up bubblegum? If you can't take your shirt off confidently in front of your woman,
Chewed up bubblegum.
is that bad?
I love that.
That's my
Okay.
favorite one.
Okay.
Of all the things you say, that's
Is that
my favorite
okay?
one.
Is that, am I screwing up here?
No,
Oh,
that's
just-
the one, man.
That
That's
painted
the
a
money.
clear picture.
Make that shit a t-shirt. Make just like
Okay.
a fucking fat blob with chewed up gum. I'll buy 3 right now.
Okay. Here's the deal. I think dads in general need to be what's called dream killers. Okay. And what I mean by that is your physique is a dream killer. You want other people looking at you going, "Man, that dude's got it figured out." Because here's the deal. When you have it figured out like that, your physique is on point. You have a lot of self-discipline. Your job is on point. Your family's going to be on point 100%. Your woman's going to look to you and she's going to know you're strong and capable. Your kids are going to look to you and say, "Dad's got this." Okay. But if dad's over here like eating a pint of Ben and Jerry's and watching like a weekend bender on Netflix and can't even like, make it across the backyard to like, get the wagon for a walk. Okay. There's a problem there. Okay. And that's generally what is going on and what I see in the day-to-day in the general public where I live anyways, in Dallas Fort Worth. I mean, obviously you guys live in different places, and it's
the same.
It's a sad thing. You see these kids, you see these kids. Well, I mean, like your boy, man, he plays ball. Okay. You're in the stands. I mean, you were calling the game the other day. Look around. It's crazy, man.
I think he's coaching like 12 different teams right now. Other kids.
Yeah, I haven't been in the stands in a while.
Yeah. Weren't you calling the game or something like that? You were calling the game.
He was the umpire, the ref, the coach.
Yeah. You were running the whole thing.
Got all the
Zac.
hats on.
But the thing is, they're like, "Okay, I want you to go play these sports." Okay. Well, I'm going to sit over here and look like a fat blob. That's not how it's done. He's not leading by example. And I think that fathers would do well to definitely embrace the suck a little bit, and I was reading an article the other day about grinding, okay, in the gym. And it's important to understand that you must embrace the grind. If you're just starting out in this deal and you're starting in fitness and you're starting to get your life together, obviously you found Oak and Rock and you're trying to get things figured out with your family situation. Maybe you're looking at some red pill stuff to figure some stuff out with your woman. It's important for you to embrace that grind because here's the deal. You're just starting out. It's not going to be an easy road to hoe. But you will get through the other side. You will be a completely different human being in 1 year if you stick with it. And that's the important thing, right? If you have a dad bod, if you're not looking right, what do? You get to work. Okay. I don't know how many dudes. I used to work with Zac in the fraternity a lot. I was one of his team leaders and I signed a lot of guys up. I helped him sign them on. Obviously they reached out to him and I did their little intakes and whatever. It's imperative to understand that a lot of men, when they start searching for help, and if you're like watching the Oak and Rock channel, that's what you're doing. You're searching for answers on how to navigate being a good parent from Anthony and understanding good family dynamics and things like that. You need to understand that these guys that I've helped sign up for Zac and the Fraternity of Excellence, I've watched these guys grow as human beings. So you're just at the starting point. Embrace the grind and understand that you will be a completely different human being in a year.
There's a lot of intangibles to that too that I think are lost on many. When we talk about it, Anthony, you were talking about, a lot of people go to the body, and then Phil, you're talking all the other additional elements to this, to include being a mobile grandfather, to include being well into your age, someone who's strong, lean, and someone who inspires. Men want to know you, men want to be around you, and women, they want to be with you. They want a guy like that. That dude squared away, confident, competent. I've been somewhat of an anomaly to your training because since working with you, I've been in the car accident that literally almost killed me. I lost my appendix and I had a double hernia. And
don't forget the rafting accident
and the whitewater rafting.
Yeah,
no, listen.
Stop
and so we have fuck that shit. That was nothing. God's tested. I'm good. Didn't even scratch.
The New Yorker says that I do all that before I get my cup of coffee.
I think I have
All right, tough guy. So as we go through, I'm seeing, we're like, oh, dude, this is kind of fucked up. Like all these things happening. But I kind of reframed it. I'm like, Phil, do you know how I was able to survive all of those things?
Yeah.
I took all those lumps and just kept going. My car accident, my surgery for my appendix, and that whitewater rafting were within, I think it was like 76 hours of each other.
Insane.
All that happened in 76 hours. And I just kept going, dude. And, everybody's like, oh, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. I've been pushing my body for this. I've been training and making myself strong, but flexible. The training that we do, I have a whole routine before I even work out now. I've got my high density roller. I've got my band work. I got myself sweating and breathing hard, and I haven't even lifted yet because I need that. It keeps me loose. It keeps things, from getting too tight, and that allows me to lift better and longer. And so when we're talking about health, we're not just talking like, yeah, get jacked. We're not just talking about, yeah, look good, naked, look good, sexy. We're talking, you're going to recover faster. You're going to get sick less. When you wipe out or you fall down the stairs or some shit goes on in your life, you get hit by a car, fucking Anthony, you're going through that shit now. If you were 300 pounds, man, you would be wrecked right now. There's no way your body would be able to handle it, but you were in a healthy weight.
That's
and
true.
you were strong. Yeah. And so I was in that same category because I was proactive in this. I was able to withstand that shit and keep going further. A lot of people wait until they get the type 2 diagnosis, until they blow their knee out walking because their body can't carry the extra 250 pounds of fat anymore. Yeah. And so I think fitness too, there's a whole element to living life where you avoid the pains most people go through that people miss. They don't even think about that when they're training or trying to eat right.
Yeah. It's about caring about yourself enough to take preventative measures.
That's the word I couldn't find the word preventative.
No, but think about that lesson you teach to your kids, right? They see dad going through it. Like, dad, even when they're little, dad, why are you doing that? Dad, Phil, if you're Phil's son, dad, why are you always in the gym? Why are you always working out? They don't know what's going on. But what they do see as time goes on, dad never misses a beat. He can't be stopped, right? He's like a freight train or a silverback white gorilla, right? You're not stopping him. So I think that's a great vision for your kids to see you. You were talking about earlier, Phil, about your family looking up to you with admiration.
Yeah.
If you're unstoppable, if you're limitless, of course they're going to look up to you, right? Because you're going to show them what their future self could be.
Yeah. And that's important, right? And it's kind of like, your future self is important. And, this is a big mantra that we practice in our house, and I'll go ahead and share it here. The big thing is, it took some adjustment, for my girls to get a good understanding of what I meant by this. But there are no limits to anything. There's only the end. There are no limits. The only one that limits you is yourself. These conscious choices that people make, whether it's, to be overweight or not be healthy or not be a good father to their children or a good spouse to their girl or whatever it might be. These are all conscious choices. You're limiting yourself by not opening your mind. The only thing that's important is what happens at the end, and more importantly than that is what happens between now and the end. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Is, when you are a strong, capable man and you're a father and your kids can look up to you, kind of like what Anthony was just saying, and he sees you day in, the kids see you day in, day out, boom, boom, boom. He never misses a beat. That's programming those children to understand to stick with it no matter how difficult things get. It's amazing to me. And I'm not a specialist when it comes to kids. I've raised my daughter the best of my ability. We're doing good. Okay. We're
doing good, brother.
Yeah. We're magna cum laude, we're graduating like high honors here. We're doing good. We're doing okay. We're no jail time yet. We're doing all right. We're doing good. But the thing is, these kids, they need to understand these fathers that potentially might watch this is that your kids are definitely looking at you, man. And, the idea that your children have of you, do you want to be that dad that your kid goes to another father for help because you're too fat and weak? Or do you want to be the dad that your kids look to for everything? I think it's option number 2. And that's going to take some work on your part. It's going to take you grinding a little bit and working towards something better than Ben & Jerry's and Netflix. It's going to take something better than focusing on everything else but except yourself. You have to put yourself first, right? You have to have that self-love and understand that no matter what you do, your children are going to be watching you, dude. 100%. It's important for you to realize that when you are strong and capable, your tribe is going to be at ease. No matter what goes down, my girls know. And when I say my girls, I'm talking about my wife and my daughter. My girls know that I got it. They don't even question it. Okay. Because no matter what, my house is always in order. Okay. And when it gets out of order, it's my problem. That's because I'm strong and I'm capable. And kind of like Anthony, what he was saying earlier, how did you say that? The mind follows the body. Is that what you said, bro?
Take care of the body and the mind will follow.
Take care of the body and the mind will follow. I mean, you guys need to write that. You need to write that down.
I just that shit all the time. I'm like, where does this come from? He's like, just all the things I know. Oh.
No, and Phil, I think that's a great point. We talk about parenting all the time. Sometimes me and Zac talk about parenting. We have these conversations, but you're not a perfect father. Same way with fitness and nutrition. You're going to slip up. You're going to make mistakes. Yeah. You're going to miss. You might miss a day or a workout. Mm-hmm. And I try to teach my kids, right, that sometimes I lose. Sometimes I lose my discipline. But regret hurts more.
Yeah.
So I try to find that discipline again. It's a constant decision and choice that I make to be disciplined. I don't want to have the regret saying that I gave up, that I stopped, that I couldn't do it. And that's the mindset I want to instill in my kids. I want them to know that, you know what? It's important to be disciplined. But you know what? Sometimes you might lose. Don't give up. Keep going forward. And I'm saying it because I hear you say it a lot, right? It's something that you've ingrained in my head.
One of the aspects of that too, Phil, tell me what is the tagline to the Growth Cast? You have a podcast, you have a YouTube channel, you run them like 24/7, dude. You have like a whole series that doesn't come off. What is your tagline though? You say it in every episode. Yeah,
it's super important, man, because it's the Growth Cast, man. It's the savage way to take what you want in health, wealth, and relationships. That's what it's all about.
Every time I hear that, man, it inspires me to continue to live the way I live.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted you to share that here, there are a lot of men who I want to be the hero. I want to be the super dad. I want to be the guy people look to. And all they have to do is take it. It's there. All they have to do is start doing those things. When you were talking about your girls, I was thinking we redid Ava's room. So she no longer has a little girl room. She moved it from like the pink to she's getting older. I don't want to talk about that. That's another episode.
You're in trouble.
But dude, on the shelf, she bought a giant silverback gorilla with a little baby monkey sleeping on it. And she's like, Dad, that's like you and me. Dude, that hit me right in the soul because that's how she sees me. If you want that, Phil is putting out content 24/7. There's a reason we have him on the channel right now. There's a reason we're live right now. There's a reason that Anthony and I work with him privately and publicly.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're doing. And these men, it's a choice away. It could be a DM that you send to Phil. Hey, man, where do I start? And that could be what changes the rest of your life. And I wish more people understood. That's why I love the tagline so much because it's so fucking simple. Take it.
Yeah, do we have a tagline?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys have one?
Do we have a tagline?
Hit kids with rocks and sticks.
Oaken
Rock, baby.
Oaken Rock, baby. Yeah. No, it's the thing, right? Is a lot of guys, they sit on the sidelines, right? I mean, you guys both see it every day, day in, day out. I mean, Anthony, you're from up north, man. I mean, look where you're from. You're from the Savage City, and that's the thing is how many guys you see that you come in contact with when you were in business before you do the things you do now. And it's like, hey, man, that dude's on the sidelines. He's not even in the game. Yeah. Same with Zac, man. You're helping these dudes out, man. You guys are working with these guys in the fraternity. How many of them are on the sidelines and how many of them in the game? They're too afraid to take anything from this world. They're too fearful. Well, you can't live like that.
What's even worse is showing up in their family with their kids.
Yeah.
You got almost 20% of kids in this country are obese right now. That's abuse, man. That is horrible.
Yeah.
But the dads let it happen because they let it happen to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy, right? And it's just some simple things, Obviously, I run a little bit of I run a tighter ship than the average bear. It's like, when we go grocery shopping, it's my girl and I. That's our date night. We don't really go out too much. We go out, but
grocery shopping's a great date night.
Yeah, it's a great date. We spend a lot of quality time together, doing those things, and we get a lot of opportunity to just kind of turn the phones off and just hang together. And I'm in full control of what's coming in my home. and that's the thing is, a lot of guys, they lack that self-discipline though. And it's sad because, they're passing that on to their kids, and all that's going to happen is their kids are going to take that and multiply it by 10. And then the next generation is going to get multiplied by 10, and so you can see that it's a recidivism almost, it's a constant circulation of negativity, and especially when it comes to health and wellness, the thing is it's not fun to get in shape. If it was fun, everybody'd be jacked and tan. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah, man.
You have to be out of your comfort zone. But I'm telling you, if you're a middle-aged dude, if you're like 40 years old, 35 to 55 years old, and you're carrying 30 pounds of extra weight on your body, you are more than likely going to have some serious health issues in the next 10 to 15 years. I don't care who you are. Now, the 0.0001% of the population that has like the perfect biology that can carry that kind of weight and not have that problem, forget about you. I'm talking about the average dude. Okay. The average guy, the guy that is probably going to watch this channel and go, man, I need to wake up a little bit and say, man, I need to get my butt back in the gym. I don't know why I've laid off on it. You've laid off on it because you're a friggin' quitter. Okay. But see, the thing is you're quitting not only on yourself, you're quitting on your family and your kids, because your kids are seeing this now. And then you're going to wonder why you're going to bust your kid's balls when he doesn't want to play ball anymore. You're going to bust your kid's balls when he doesn't want to do something anymore. Well, Dad, you quit. You're teaching him this stuff.
Well, you're getting mad at your kids, but you're really mad at yourself.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's the fucked up part.
Yeah. It's called projection, right? Isn't that what it's called, right? You're projecting onto your kids.
Yes, sir.
I studied up before I came on your.
I see that, man. I'm impressed.
That's a big word. That was good.
The meathead know something.
But as you go through it, I mean, that's the thing, dude. Life, when you lock it in, and that's the new normal, the maintenance of it is not that difficult. Now you're just cruising, you're doing your thing. You'll push for those heavy days. You'll set those new challenges, whether it's walking on a stage or it's competing in a race or a triathlon or whatever you've got going on, maybe powerlifting. Whatever it is you said, you'll have challenges, but it's a lot easier to maintain a healthy body than it is to overhaul a broken body.
That's right.
And so if you can do it once and stick with it, you don't ever have to go back to that broken self. I looked that picture I sent you earlier. I'm like, bro, I will never fucking see that guy again. That dude is dead. That dude's as dead as Hunter Drew, man. Like that, never coming back, in the fucking grave. Fucking cement put on top.
Well, if he does rear its ugly head, I'll be on an airplane to the East Coast. I will tell you that.
Shit. Hey, is that what it's going to take to get you to North Carolina? Hey, get some Jameson.
No, don't do it, Zach. We'll get him here. Don't worry.
We'll fly well. We got some Oak and Rock content. We need live.
No, but seriously, it's important, right? Because obviously this channel is definitely about getting your kids straightened out. And obviously you're failing somewhere if you're watching this channel. It's important that you figure out real quick, because here's the thing. One thing I've recognized with my daughter, she's 17 and a half years old. We got 4. This is how pathetic I am with this thing, and letting her go, Anthony, is, she's got 4 more weeks of her junior year. And then I got the senior year and it's over. And I'm like, man, that's only like, that's 9 weeks and 4 weeks left. It's not even that
those numbers, man. Every time you tell me in that type of small number, I hate that breakdown.
Yeah.
It's like I've only got 2 semi-annual meetings. I'm like, fuck. Don't say that, man. You got 365 days or whatever. Yeah.
And it's crazy, because I see her just like, turn into this little woman, and it's like, man, I see her slipping away from me a little bit more every day. And, it's, your time is finite, guys, and if you're a father, obviously you're watching a good channel because these guys are got this straightened out for you. They're going to help you get straightened right out when it comes to, doing the right thing when it comes to your kids. The big thing is understanding that your time is finite. Okay, so while you're working on your family, you need to work on yourself. It's important for you to realize that, every moment that you waste is a moment lost. You're never going to get that back ever again. I don't care who you are. Zac, when he turned it around, he's a relatively young guy. The average guy, that starts waking up, he's like 40 years old. In my experience in being around, Zac and some of the other content creators and going to conferences and stuff like that, you see it's like this median age of between 35 and 40. Would you agree with that, Zac?
That's accurate.
Yeah. And so those guys, if you're one of those guys and you're just now starting to turn around, your time is really limited. Okay. Because here's the deal. If you're 35 or 40 years old, I'm going to say you have till about 50, and then you're going to go to maintenance. Okay. Unless you have like some serious ability in the gym. But if you're already upside down and you're overweight and you're sickly, you have very, very limited time. Another thing too is if your kids are, getting ready to be teenagers, they're already forming their own opinions. If I'm not mistaken with that, Anthony, the big thing is understanding that with these kids, the younger, the better. So if your kids are young, like 2, 3, 4 years old and you're turning it around now, you got lucky. For the guys that your kids are about to be teenagers, good luck. It's going to be a war. Here's the thing. Obviously I'm a divorced dad and I went through that divorce with my ex-wife. She lives a completely different lifestyle than my wife and I do. And that was one of the biggest hurdles, all the time I like hitting my head on the wall. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? Just do the best I can do with, And so here's the thing, as she started to formulate her own opinions and understand what was going on, she realized what right looked like. And she moved away from what wrong looked like. And so men, if you are struggling with anything like that, hit me up. I don't care. You can find me anywhere. The big thing is you do something about it now because your time is running out. I can't impress that enough. I really can't.
No, it's accurate, man. We all have the same 28,000 days on average to live. Don't fucking waste them.
Yeah.
We've been going on that trip recently. Did you find that a fortune cookie? That's like the second or third time I've heard you use that 28,000 days. I was like, where'd you get that from?
I read it somewhere, man, and it just totally destroyed me. 28,000 days. It doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah.
No, and Phil, whenever we talk, man, he'll like say a smaller number with her, and I'm like, dude, it makes you reflect on Ava. It makes you reflect on like my kids, Coda. And I'm like, damn it, like the numbers are small. But I mean, that's the thing. We got to make them count, because our goal is to build somebody that can go into the world and take what they want, the savage way. But Phil, you were talking about, plugging our guys reaching out. We had somebody reach in the chat. I was going to wait until towards the end. But so we've got this. You've got your training. You've got nutrition. You've got hormones. We didn't even talk about that. You've got your supplements. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
So there's more to, like, we spoke to the family man. I'd like to talk to the businessman now. You brought an entire business to life here. I can tell you, and this is not as a friend, this is strictly as a customer. It is the best product on the market.
Well, I appreciate that.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch and
Thank
the Sleep and Feed are the best protein shakes I've ever had in my life. And I've had all of them. The pre-workout, this shit throws tarantulas on my face and my shoulders. And I pick up my hot tub and I just start curling it.
Yeah.
And so there's a video, on my TikTok where I'm just like, I wasn't feeling it. And then I was feeling all of it. And so could you talk to us a little bit about what it is that you're offering, what it is you brought to life, and why your shit is better than the competition?
Yeah, I appreciate that opportunity, Zac. So basically, I conceptualized, 4 years ago, when I started going to school for training, become a certified master trainer. And, I got 8 different pedigrees that matters to me, coupled with the experience that I have in the gym. I formulated philfosterfitness.com. And from there, we started the supplement line. I've developed an app for training for all my training clients. So utilizing an app, basically there is no PDFs. There's none of that stuff that you got to print off or Google Sheets or anything like that. It's all run right through your phone. Reps, sets, everything's prescribed for you based on what you want to do. And so building that, I had a 2-year plan. I just passed year 1 in the 1st of April, believe it or not. So I've got 1 more year to go to see where things are going. And hopefully, move away from the construction stuff altogether. Basically, when I developed this whole thing, it just kind of really started happening. The supplements, the big thing was the training first. And I was like, one of the biggest frustrations I have is, the supplements, and taking different supplements, for many, many years. For me, the supplements are important because I don't want a bunch of trash. If you go on my website at philfosterfitness.com, you can look at the ingredients. The ingredients list is extremely small, and that's what you want, and it's sold by weight, not by volume. And see, a lot of things, you go to the grocery store or wherever you buy GNC or wherever you're going to buy it from, it's filled to the top. It's because it's full of fillers. Mine is not. It's super clean. And that's what's important, is to understand that I wanted to offer a premium product to the market. And, so I'm not really trying to market my things to guys that are looking for the cheapo stuff. I'm looking for guys that want the quality product to utilize for their body. Because here's the thing, if you put trash in the body and you train, you're going to have trash results. If you put premium products in the body and train, you're going to have premium results. The big thing is understanding that, mine's a little bit more money, but it's super clean and you're getting what you're paying for. There is no hocus pocus. There is nothing. I mean, obviously, you just look at the ingredients list. It's super, super, super small. It's important for you to understand that, when I built this brand, I mean, Zac, both of you guys.
That's worth at least $50 right there, Zac.
Yeah, boom.
That's
the super chat, Atlanta. The big thing is understanding that, I mean, you guys both had a front row seat to this. I mean, my life was a nightmare 2 years ago, completely, and it was upside down. Things are starting to calm down a little bit. The website's going to go through its final iteration. It's like we have everything there on the website, but now we're going to start really formulating and getting things built out the way we want them. I offer hormone coaching. I deal with a distributor that's based out of Florida in San Antonio. And basically we do alternative medication. And so basically that's all hormone related, whether it's men or women. A large percentage of the population of men, believe it or not, are deficient in testosterone. And that's why they're fat, and that's why they're lazy, and that's why they have no motivation.
So I know we're coming up towards the hour, but could you break that down a little bit? For those there are probably some who've been told or never even considered thinking about their hormones. What are some of the indicators there for guys who are like, maybe I should start, maybe that instead of a training program or going on a nutrition program, I want to start knowing what's happening inside. Yeah. How does a man go about doing that? And what are the symptoms that he should do that?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I can belt this out real quick. Here's the deal. If you're going to the gym and you're not losing weight and you're dieting, you more than likely have a hormone imbalance. If you have anxiety issues, if you have depression, if you have memory fog, brain fog, and memory, like problems with memory. Okay. So basically, brain fog is like you live in a dreamy state. Your energy levels fall off in the afternoon. Okay. And that's with you eating a healthy diet. Those are big indicators right there. The way we do it is we don't deal with general care practitioners. Basically, general care practitioners want you sick and fat because they want to make money off you. They want to make money off your kids.
Big pharma, baby.
It's real. It's real. It's a real thing.
I
don't have the tinfoil coat.
No, we tinfoil hat when it comes to that, Phil.
Okay. That's good. So we do alternative. Okay. We do basically we do telemedicine. Excuse me. And what happens is, we test your blood and we test all of the markers. Okay. We don't just test one thing. We test everything. Okay. And then we figure out exactly what's going on with your body. You do an intake form. We take the information from the intake form and the blood work, and we do a phone conference with you, and we prescribe. Okay. And basically it's Xenogenous testosterone, HCG, or a chemical or product like that. And then something to control your estrogen. If you have moobs, which are man boobs, okay, more than likely your estrogen receptors are off the chart and you have high estrogen. It's important for you to understand that you're never going to get to point Z, the physique that you want, the dream killer physique. Okay. That's what I want every man to have, is a dream killer physique. The dream killer is when you can take your shirt off in public and other dudes go, dang, that's a dream killer right there. The big thing is understanding that your hormones play a massive role in who you are as a male. Okay. Let me tell you something. Weak fat betas do not lead tribes. That's just the facts of life, man. That's real. That's real. That's real.
You can't lead tribes with moobs.
No,
absolutely not.
No, you want your woman to respect you, get some testosterone in your body. You want things in order in your life, get your hormones straightened out. So that's what I do with that, and it's important that the guys understand. It's kind of like you see right now here in Dallas, it's 8:00. It's a little bit later for you guys over there on the East Coast. You see my energy level. I'm an optimized individual. I'm 48 years old, dude. I weigh 189 pounds and I squat 500. Come at me. You can't refute it. It's real, man. It's a real thing. I savagely rip my wife apart. I lead my tribe and I win. And so the thing is understanding that when you get your hormones optimized, your life will change for the better. I've seen it time and time. Zac has seen dudes in his fraternity.
I live it, man. I've been public about it, so you're free to speak it. I live it. I'm on everything. Following the nutrition program, following the hormone program, following the training program. My life, night and day. Like I said, I've got a kick-ass fucking testimonial I'll be dropping 4th of July where I do my 2 years since the difference of who I was to who I am. Yeah. But even before then, the photos I've been sharing, people have been hitting me up. What are you doing, dude? I've been telling you. I've been telling the whole fucking world. There's no secret here. It's not like I got the special mix in my pocket. It's this man. Yeah. That's my trainer. That's the dude I work with. That's the one educating me. That's where I found out what's happening inside. And for those who are like, oh yeah, but you're bros, you're hooking them up. My call was not with him. My call was with a nurse. We sat down and went through the itemized list as to what my indicators that were high were, what the low were, what the fix was. We got that shit dialed in. And then I was following the program, following the nutrition, and now it's just locked in and moving. Now the body's responding. I'm eating more than I've ever eaten, and my muscles are growing and the fat's dropping.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah.
And if I drop service before we wrap this up, we just got a wild fucking thunder and lightning storm going on. So it's booming outside right now like a firework display. So if we do get kicked off early, it's Mother Nature trying to hold us down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I'll say I met Phil probably almost 3 years ago now in the fraternity. I remember the first time I met him in person. We were in Pensacola at the fire pit.
Yeah.
And we were talking business. I was talking auto body. He was talking construction. We were talking about how to save money on taxes, how to beat the system. It is wild to see 3 years later what he's built, where he's at, and what we're doing. It's crazy, man, when I think about it. Completely different world, right? And it's a short amount of time if you think about what has been built and the progress we've made. So
yeah, man.
It's cool to see, Phil.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And it's the same with you. I mean, look at you guys, man. You guys you're crushing it, man. And it's a big thing, right? Is transitionary periods in our lives, man. As long as you're the net positive and it's not net negative, you're not going down. Neutral or positive always. That's a big thought process. And building whatever you're going to build. But obviously tonight's topic was definitely over fitness. So if you got a dad bod and you have kids in your home, listen to these guys. Listen to me. Get yourself squared away. Get your family in the gym. Take them for walks. Go out, get out and get some fresh air. Do something. Okay.
Move.
The big thing is what's that?
Movement.
Yeah.
Just go move.
Yeah, it's important. It's important.
You're muted.
He's muted.
You're muted, professional.
I've never been here before. How do you use Zoom? StreamYard. I said I had to throw on my OG hat since we're going down memory lane.
That's an old one. That's an old and goodie.
Listen, when you look at it, when you look at the journey of any man, it had to start somewhere. And for you tuning in, listening to this is where it starts for you. Let this be the video. Let this be the one like, all right, dude, I'm not sure how far I want to go, but I want to find out where I'm at. How do I do my hormones? That is whenever people ask me where to start, I always say, go to Phil and start there. Yeah. That to me is step one. Find out where you're at and then decide where do I want to go with it. Yeah. Is it, I just want to lock in my food? Is it, I want some coaching, get the lifestyle and sit down for an hour, a block of Phil's time, or I want to go all in. That's what I highly recommend. That's what I did. And that's the best way to go about it. That just immerse you, fully commit to it for once in your fucking life. All in. I want to be the best. I want to be that superhero dad who can keep up. I've got my wife looking at me. I've got my kids looking up to me. I've got my peers showing respect. And I've got absolute strangers being kinder because I'm an individual who looks like I take care of myself. Yeah. And if you look good, people treat you good. And so I want that for every man. I want that for every person. And as you were saying, Phil, I want them to go out and take it. And so you are a busy individual. I appreciate your time. You actually were supposed to live stream today and you came on here and hopped on with us. Yeah. And I think you booked it for tomorrow. So you've got something dropping tomorrow. So for people looking to hear your content, dive onto your channel. Where can they find you?
That's super easy. I was hanging out with this one guy named Zac Small. He's like, dude, dumb it down, make it easy. You can find me all over social media, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Phil Foster _. You can find me on YouTube at Phil Foster. It's the Growthcast. You can find me at philfosterfitness.com. Once again, the content's always streaming out, here and there. And the YouTube channel is definitely lit. Super pumped with what's going on with that, working with a good group of guys that are really helping me get that dialed in. And you can definitely just check me out, man. If you have any questions, hit me in the chat, hit me in the DMs, whatever you guys need. It's all good, man. 100%. I just want you guys, all men, to be dream killers, man. That's what I want them to be. Savages.
That's what it's about, brother. Anthony, what you got?
Nah, man, Phil, it was good talking to you. I appreciate you coming on. And it's been a while, so this was good, man.
Yeah, man. It's great to see you, man. You got a nice tan going on.
Yeah.
The Southern life, man.
Southern life, baby.
For everybody who tuned in, this has been another episode. Go out and get after it. Don't just sit and listen to three dudes talk about how they're crushing life. Join us. You do that by applying the information you've learned. This has been another episode of Oak and Rock Fatherhood. We're out.